I was disappointed to hear that Bernie is sending his volunteers out to trash me.
Bernie reverts back to his old sexist ways. You confused? Let's talk about it, y'all. Middle America. Well, you guys just saw the clip. I've had a busy couple days. So this story is already a day old. So apologies for that. But as always in Middle America, we wanna share our thoughts. Now, I was alerted to this actually by the Middle America channel itself. If you want to join our club, if you want to become part of Middle America, it's very simple at no charge. You just go to facebook.com/AmericaMiddle and you're in. Then you can enjoy the comment section. You can break the news. I generally interact there. I usually spend about an hour or two interacting on that site. So if you want to talk to the big homie, you want to talk to your boy, facebook.com/AmericaMiddle. Okay, so I'm watching this conversation, and actually one of our own Middle Americans is actually stumping for Bernie and all that. Isabel J, I'll just say it that way. Shout out to her. Fight the good fight, sister. But it was very interesting to me because in the discussion you had the guy implying that the Bernie bros are at it again, quote unquote, and then you had the woman supporting Bernie, which is very ironic. Okay, so what happened? Miss Warren says that she was disappointed that Mr. Sanders is telling people to trash her, or telling his campaign folks to trash her. Now, the individual that is working actually has firsthand knowledge of the Bernie campaign and how it works, has said point blank that that is not the case, that they're not instructed to trash Elizabeth Warren. But let's look at the data and then we can tell. Now, here is what was actually said after the clip that I posted just now. Here is the rest of Miss Warren's statement.
Democrats want to win in 2020. We all saw the impact of the factionalism in 2016, and we can't have a repeat of that.
Democrats want to win in 2016. We all saw the factionalism, and we can't have a repeat of that, which is simply the silly Bernie Bros chant that Hillary and the like were foisting on us as the explanation for her incredible defeat to a candidate that nobody, including the candidate himself, thought was going to win the election. And Miss Clinton, instead of taking full responsibility for her lack of engagement in Middle America, in the Rust Belt, her calling Trump supporters basket of deplorables and being completely out of touch because she's a quadrillionaire, none of those issues ultimately led to her defeat. No, dear ladies and gentlemen. There were two massive issues that led to her defeat. One were the Bernie Bros, the sexist group on Bernie Sanders' side. And two are the Russians, of course, don't you know? The Russians. I gotta tell you, this is strange stuff, and the lack of self-awareness by Elizabeth Warren, which really just reflects a lack of self-awareness of the establishment wing of the Democratic Party, is evident in the fact that she had the audacity to bring up 2016 and pretend that it was the Bernie Bros' fault that the Democrats lost the election. Let me rewind the tape again for you, Miss Warren. Bernie Sanders came out of nowhere as far as people like me were concerned. Right-leaning, conservative-type people who obviously are against abortion, among other issues, generally fiscally conservative, etc., etc. Bernie came on the scene and presented a different type of Democratic Party. It was a populist platform before Mr. Trump had his populist platform. A lot of times, and I make this mistake too, a lot of times we say that Bernie was the answer to Trump's populism. No, Trump was a right-wing answer to Bernie's populism. Bernie was really the first populist message in the country. And Bernie had the ability to get the black vote, black males in particular, who did not show up for Hillary. I wonder why. who are not going to show up for Biden. By the way, they'll show up for Trump before they show up for Biden. That's a separate video. And then you had a guy who was also, oddly enough, appealing to conservatives because, wouldn't you know it, many conservatives don't like the concept of 38 million plus or 30 million plus Americans uncovered in health care. Many Americans don't like the fact that the banks got all these crazy bailouts and billionaires get these crazy bailouts, etc., etc. Many Americans like the idea that their 16, 17-year-old kid is not looking at $40,000 to $50,000 of college student loan debt. So this man drew up a literal grassroots effort, and it was completely stolen by the Democratic National Convention. Those are the facts. That's what happened. We've all read WikiLeaks. We all saw the Podesta emails. We all saw that Hillary over there in Brooklyn was in control of the whole show. We all saw it. The DNC basically took away the candidate that all of us wanted and shoved Hillary in our face and said, what are you going to do? You're going to vote for him? And you know what people did? They did three things. They either said, well, then screw you, DNC. I'm not going to vote. Or they said, actually, we're going to vote for Jill Stein. Or they said, no, we're actually going to vote for Trump. That's what happened. So when you bring up 2016, Miss Warren, it makes people like me not nervous because I was expecting this. This tells me that she has inside knowledge that the DNC is planning on propping her up and screwing Bernie again. And this is a warning shot right before the Iowa caucus, which she might lose actually to Bernie. Bernie's in the lead. And if you remember, didn't go so well for Hillary. She was extremely nervous after the Iowa situation. You remember that? And so this young lady gets on camera and starts to tell us that Bernie is smearing her. Now, we're going to get to the smear in a second. But this is really just a warning shot to Bernie to simply say, hey, man, you need to fall in line with what we're about to do to y'all here. When she talks about the unity in the Democratic Party and the factionalism. Okay, so let's see this horrible trashing that happened. And I actually disagreed with both of my friends in the comment section of Middle America here. They're going back and forth, and Isabel was saying, well, you know, Bernie can't control who wrote what, and he didn't write that, yada yada yada. And then my buddy Matthew said, no, it's not necessarily Bernie, but it's the Bernie Bros. Okay. Here is the actual text in question. This is from Politico. Here is what was said. Here is the horribleness. Here is the trashing of poor Elizabeth Warren. You ready? Here's what you're supposed to say. I like Elizabeth Warren. Optional. Basically, Bernie's allowing their folks to keep their integrity. She's my second choice, but here's my concern about her. It then pivots to criticisms of Warren. The script instructs Sanders volunteers to tell voters leaning toward the Massachusetts senator that, here's the quote, people who support her are highly educated, more affluent people who are going to show up and vote Democratic no matter what, and that she's bringing no new basis to the Democratic Party, end quote. Which is essentially saying this is Hillary 2.0, because that's exactly the demographic in which Hillary won, and she lost based on the second half of that criticism. And this, we are told, is supposedly trashing Elizabeth Warren. Newsflash, Hillary Clinton, Elizabeth Warren. When you are running for president and you have other people running for president, there have to be reasons why you believe that you will win and the other person will not, or why you believe you're the best candidate and the other person is not. That's called campaigning. If there were no problems with Elizabeth Warren, why in the world is Bernie running then? If Bernie believed that her and Elizabeth Warren were equals in all things policy, why should Bernie run? There are obvious differences between her campaign and her perspectives and her policy and Sanders, etc., etc. So this whole thing where Bernie's now gets put, this is actually a brilliant psychological tactic of warfare, I must say, because now here comes Bernie basically saying, hey guys, I can't control what everybody, right? Bernie, you shouldn't have said that, bro. Neither should you. Isabel, look, there is a reason. You know what I would have said if I was Bernie? There is a reason I'm running against Miss Warren. And the reason is what I just pointed out. We saw a candidate like this already, this sort of quasi-centrist, basically established Democrat. We saw what happened in 2016, and I'm alerting people that this is going to happen again with Miss Warren. If I thought Miss Warren was perfect, I would drop out of the campaign. That's what I would have said. Good night. What is, and I gotta say, this, if I was a woman, I would be extremely insulted and embarrassed by this, as well as the Hillary-Bernie Bros nonsense. First of all, the whole Bernie Bros thing, here's Glenn Greenwald of The Intercept, and he made a pretty salient point here when he says, and this was January 31st, 2016, the Bernie Bros narrative, a cheap campaign tactic masquerading as journalism and social activism. Correct. This is absolutely ridiculous. Bernie he engendered a lot of loyalty from his base because of how genuine he was, and his base finally had a taste of maybe something can actually change in our country for the better for the little guy. So when their man got stolen out from under them, and when it came out that the DNC establishment stole it from them, they were extremely angry at her. And you know what ended up happening? Mr. Sanders campaigned more for Hillary in 2016 than Hillary campaigned for Obama in 2008. Lest we forget, Hillary was the one that floated out the idea that maybe Mr. Obama would be assassinated, and so she's not going to quit running when it was clear that it was impossible that she was going to win. So Bernie never said anything like that. Bernie campaigned for her, and more Bernie supporters supported Hillary than Hillary supporters supported Obama. That's just silly, it's a lie, it's ridiculous, and it's actually pretty condescending to women. What it's saying is, hey, if the woman plays, fam, you're on the basketball court. A girl decides that she wants to play. You know what happens when a girl gets on the basketball court with me? If she wants to play, I'm gonna play her hard. You know why? Not because I'm against women, but because I respect that girl. And if she's got the cojones to get on the court with the big boys, I'm gonna treat her like that, because a real competitor would want nothing else. A real competitor would be insulted. Can you imagine the girl gets the ball at the top of the key, and everybody clears out and gives her a clear ride to the lane so she can have an easy layup every time she gets the ball? Wouldn't she get frustrated? She'd yell, she'd say, defend me, play ball. That's what would happen with an actual competitor. And that's why lots of girls don't get on the court, but the ones who do get a ton of respect. The ones who get on the court and don't ask for any special treatment get a ton of respect. What have we seen now with the two front-running female candidates from the DNC? You're not supposed to criticize me. You're not supposed to disagree with me. You're not even supposed to run longer than I want you to run, because if you do, you're sexist. Are you kidding me? No, it's just playing you hard on the court. Bernie, whoever wrote that script, is showing Miss Warren some respect and saying, hey, you're going to throw your hat in the ring. You want to be the first female president, then you got to be able to deal with some criticism. You got to be able to dodge it. And especially, I mean, are you saying you can't deal with this, but you're going to be able to deal with Trump and what he's going to do to y'all? Are you kidding me? It's this weird thing, man, where Democrats, the establishment Democrats and the establishment left is floating out this narrative about Bernie being some sort of sexist. It's unbelievable to me. It is it's the most counter, and here's why I say the establishment left, because I've never met an actual leftist in the flesh who has even dared to even deign to say that Bernie is a sexist or a racist or a misogynist or anything like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Nor have I ever met a misogynistic Bernie candidate, a Bernie supporter. Never seen it. This is absolutely ridiculous. No, look, man. Hillary, Elizabeth, if you get on the court, the dudes are going to play you hard, and that's because we respect you. And honestly, this is softball stuff. They didn't mention the Native American thing where you falsely claim to be a Native American. I've got more Native American in my pinky than you do. It's probably true. I'm a West Indian. born in Jamaica. Sori's probably Penobscot or something like that from where we live. We're both, our son Orion, our 9-month-old, is probably 88 times more Native American than Elizabeth Warren. They didn't bring that up. I would have said, how do you think that DNA test is going to play during the debates with Mr. Trump? That's fair game, y'all. I was pregnant, I wasn't pregnant, I got turned because I was pregnant, I didn't. Look, all these things, man, if you put this woman up against Donald Trump, he is going to eat her alive. Must I help you again with some recollection? Hillary Clinton, in the debates, as far as point by point goes, completely annihilated Trump. And the only thing we remember from that entire debate was 4 words.
You'd be in jail.
You'd be in jail. Donald Trump is a showman, and he understands that these debates are just showmanship, and he is priming the pump, ready to eat this woman alive. Mr. Trump is hoping that Miss Warren stands up there. So if I was Bernie, I'd be putting all that stuff in the script, man. All of it. Because if she can't handle it with Bernie, if she can't handle it with some random stumper that's going door to door, if she can't handle that, you think she's going to be able to deal with Trump? Come on, y'all. This is absolutely insulting to women. I mean, look, ladies, I really need you to comment in the comment section here. If I'm missing something, please let me know, because a lot of times, people say, oh, black people should be insulted. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like this, and that. So maybe I'm missing something. But it seems to me she just wants to be handled with kid gloves, and she feels like she's beyond reproach. Here's the other situation that was pretty interesting. So supposedly, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren had a meeting in 2018 where Mr. Sanders, here it is, Elizabeth Warren said Monday that a few weeks before the 2020 campaign started, Bernie Sanders told her that he did not believe a woman could win the presidency. That's what was supposedly said. Warren's politically charged comment came hours after Sanders adamantly denied an anonymously sourced CNN report that he'd made the remark. Okay, so here we go. So some anonymous report from CNN gets leaked, and then here we go. Now we're dealing with Bernie. Bernie's a misogynist again, wouldn't you know it? Okay, well, so here is Bernie's response. It is ludicrous to believe that at the same meeting where Elizabeth Warren told me she was going to run for president, that I would tell her that a woman couldn't win. The Vermont senator said in a statement released by his campaign, "It's sad that 3 weeks before the Iowa caucus and a year after that private conversation, staff who weren't in the room are lying about what happened." There's old Bernie. He's blaming it on the staff and not Elizabeth Warren. You see what happened? When Bernie staffers go and do something, Bernie gets blamed for it. But so Elizabeth Warren said Bernie sent those people to trash me. That's so when Bernie staffers say something, Elizabeth Warren blames Bernie. Do you see what Bernie just did? She just slandered him, and who does he blame? Does he blame Elizabeth Warren? No, he blames her staffers, because that's how Bernie is. He's kind of, in his old age, it's extremely childlike and naive. Bernie thinks everybody's like him. Bernie, everybody's not like you, bruh. These people are not like you, man. Staff who weren't in the room are lying about what happened. He added, "Do I believe a woman can win in 2020? Of course. After Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump by 3 million votes. After all, Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump by 3 million votes in 2016. Which is completely irrelevant, because that's not how you win elections. But he's a pretty smart, playing to the whole electoral college thing. Good for you, Bernie. Very brilliant. Unfortunately for Bernie, here is Elizabeth Warren's response. Warren issued a statement Monday evening that contradicted Sanders' account of the conversation. Among the topics that came up was what would happen if Democrats nominated a female candidate. I thought a woman could win. He disagreed. Which means, Mr. Sanders, that this narrative did not come just from her staffers. This was cleared by her, obviously. She just said it. She just said that you disagreed that a woman could win, which is materially the exact same thing that you were being accused of. Now watch this. I have no interest in discussing this private meeting any further, because Bernie and I have far more in common than our differences on punditry. So here she is. This is how dishonest that she is. And she is so dishonest and so stuck in the echo chamber that she doesn't even realize how insulting such a statement is to the intelligence of the rest of us. Oh, you have nothing more to say? The salient point, nobody cares about anything else in the meeting other than that specific topic. Bernie denied it, didn't blame you, blame your staffers, and then you come back and say that he did say that, but you're above talking about the contents of the meeting. How dumb do you think we are? Look, man, I've disagreed cats and dogs with street level leftists on this forum. One thing they're not is dumb. They're not dumb. They're actually very intelligent people. And I'm obviously not a leftist, but this is absolutely insulting. This is the thing that gets me about these people. They're stuck so much in their echo chamber, they have no idea how insulting and condescending statements like this is. Oh, I'm above this. I'm not talking about this. I'm just above it. But yeah, he did say that. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody is lying. That's what that means. Now, Bernie's been in the political eye, I don't know, 40 years? Somebody put in the comment section anytime he's ever told a lie and been caught in a lie in 40 years. Tell me when he's ever deviated from any of his major platforms in 40 years. Tell me when. I could tell you about Elizabeth Warren, though. I could tell you about how she claimed a certain type of heritage, and it came out that she was no such thing. We've got contradicting reports about her, the whole pregnancy issue and what happened with that. You know what else? We've got her saying she's going to be able to get us all Medicare for all and nobody's taxes are going to go up. That's just a lie. That's a lie. It's completely untrue. So if now it's his word against theirs. So who do I believe? Well, I believe the guy who's been consistent since before I was born, since a decade before I was born. I'm going to believe that guy over the person who, since she's been in the public sphere as a serious candidate, has told lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. That's what I'm going to do. Look, ladies and gentlemen, Middle America, we just have to come to terms with the fact that Donald Trump and the Republicans are going to win a sweeping landslide victory. You're not even going to be able to talk about the Electoral College versus the popular vote after this. You won't. And you're probably going to lose a house. You know what's interesting? People have been talking about how Trump has used this Iran thing to get away from the impeachment stuff. Why would he do that? His popularity rate is the exact same as Barack Obama's. He's going to crush everybody. You know what I think? I think actually Pelosi and these guys are using Iran to get the attention off of impeachment. You notice how everything on CNN right now has been about Iran, even though the conflict is essentially over, but they're still talking about Iran? Why do you think that is? Because this impeachment stuff has backfired horribly. Well, it's the same exact principle here. Why in the world? Isabel pointed this out. This is actually the reason I actually did this video. Once I saw this comment, I'm like, of course, I got to do my part. Hello, Bernie is beating you. Bernie is beating you in every statistical category. He's outraising you in money. He just set a record last month, I believe. What in the world does Bernie have to do to trash you? Why? And again, if it's the truth, it is not trashing you. It's just telling the truth. Those are the people you appeal to. Those are the people who are excited. Again, please. This is another experiment, dear listener. Tell me if you've ever ran into a human being that is over the top excited for Elizabeth Warren to become the President of the United States. Tell me the people that have the passion for Elizabeth Warren like Bernie Sanders supporters had passion for him in 2016. Not so much now, but 2016. You know, look. There is a woman running for office right now, and this woman I would literally go off over every cliff in the world for, and that's Tulsi Gabbard. And it's like my man Alex said, which right now he's got the post of the year. My man Alex said, look, if Joe Biden wins the nomination, I'm voting for Tulsi. If Elizabeth Warren wins the nomination, I'm voting for Tulsi. That's right. We have got to get out of this silliness with the DNC. They just told us that they're about to repeat 2016 on us, y'all. They just told us that. Now their OPSEC's going to be a lot better So the stuff's not going to get leaked so we can see it and have definitive evidence. But how much do you want to bet? They tried to prop up Kamala. Tulsi took her down. They tried to prop up Joe 330 Biden. He took himself down. And the only one left is Elizabeth Warren. Facts. That's what's happening. It's over. It's over. Hunker down. Look forward to 2024 and more needless deaths because we're not going to have health care for 28, 30 plus million Americans. Unbelievable. Love your neighbor. Take care of each other. Middle America, we are the media. Till next time, guys.
Welcome.